We gonna let we gonna let people get in this motherfucker too. We live right now on TikTok as well. What's good? What's good? What's good? We just gonna wait. I'm gonna send this TikTok out too right now. Let's see on my other. Whoa! What's up with everybody down there? Yeah. Alright. Alright, gonna send myself some roses real quick. Get it started. Um,
Dookie, that's my brother. We just some like Zach and Cody.
yes, sir. Thank you for the follow. Um, uh, we're just gonna send this out a little bit. Spreading this motherfucker. What up, what up, everybody? This is my interview. So if you want to introduce yourself, that'd be cool. Hold on, real quick. Hold on, real quick. I want to make sure they hear you real quick. Hold on. So they hear you. Can't hear you. Yo, talk again.
Yo, you hear me? What's going on, y'all? This T Flint, also known as Todd Philos. That's my author name. I'm an author, writer. I do short films, scripts, and books. Really working on books at the moment, but that's my passion. That's what I do.
All right. So we got T Flynn in here. You know what I'm saying? Do you go by anything else by that? Besides that?
Todd Philos. That's my pseudonym. My author name.
Okay. Okay. And what are you writing right now? What do you have in the tub?
I'm working on a book called "The Plantation Has Wi-Fi." It's a it's about an interview with a self-proclaimed house nigga who's going through basically everything a black man could go through to get to the top of the corporate world, and then he fell. He basically is his rise and fall story and why he became the house nigga that he claimed to be.
Okay. Okay.
And the
And
setting it's like an interview setting, like soft white underbelly type interview. That's how I wrote it as like that.
okay, that's fire. That's fire. That's fire. How long did that take you?
I took a little breather, but I was writing it for like 4 months. I'm about 13 chapters in right now. It's pretty long. I just gotta bring it to a close right now.
Okay. Okay. And when did you decide to start writing?
In prison, unfortunately, I was in there serving a 40-year sentence that turned into a life sentence while I was in there. So I started reading and fell in love with writing, fell in love with just the art of being an author. I was studying the writers like Stephen King and stuff like that. It just kind of motivated me, made me want to write like them.
Okay. Okay. Where exactly are you from?
I'm from South Central Los Angeles, out of the 60s, the same area, as the late great Nip.
Okay. Okay. So you would say that violence is like normal in that area.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, South Central. Yeah, it's pretty violent. Not as violent as it used to be, but yeah, it's definitely known for violence, man.
Did you ever feel like you needed to join a gang to avoid the violence?
No, I'm gonna be honest. I never thought I would be a gang member. I wasn't even trying to be from nowhere for real. I was just growing up in the '60s, and like it's hard to avoid it. Literally everybody I knew around the neighborhood was already from 60 or claiming it. So all my friends I'm walking to school with from elementary school, they already walking around throwing up the hood, having names, trying to make a name for themselves. And I'm just like the square homie playing basketball, skateboarding. But it's like if I'm hanging with them, I'm gonna end up doing the stuff they doing. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of just like started catching cases with the homies and not even being from the hood. But like eventually I had to start. I was fighting the dudes they fighting because they're my boys. So it's kind of like I start getting sucked into it just naturally. It was real organic for real.
So it wasn't it's like you had a choice, but eventually it's like I'm kind of here with y'all.
Yeah,
I might as
yeah, for
well.
sure. It, yeah, type shit. It almost became like I didn't have a choice because like mom's she was there like a mug. She was on her stuff. I saw her hustling, going to college, working. She bought a house at a young age. She was doing her thing, but she was by herself. So you know how that is when you working and you going to school. You ain't got no time to really lock in on your kids. So eventually, I'm just gonna find my own way to to fill that void that father wasn't there on. You feel me?
Yeah.
And that's basically what happened. Like I'm like, man, I'm here. It's what it. And then I remember I had a moment when I first went to jail before I was gang banging with the homies where like it was an expectation for me to do it, to like follow suit and like bang the hood. But I wasn't. I'm just in the halls, like I ain't from nowhere. And dudes is still pressing me. They like, ain't your crimey wooty woo from 6-0? And they like dissing and shit. So I'm like, damn, I ain't from nowhere, but I still like I gotta do something though. Like you feel me? Cause then they gonna tell the homies, like, man, he was dissing him, he ain't do shit. So I'm squabbling when they dissing. Eventually, it was like, man, you from 6-0, nigga. Like when you get out, you gotta get put on. You feel me?
Okay, so we're gonna backtrack. So you say you just you decided to just hang out, and eventually just organically you just kind of fell in line with the whole. You just gonna ride with 6-0.
Yeah.
You said it's just moms, nothing, nobody else really.
Nah, hell no. My big brother, he from 40s, but he had already he was going to jail already, so he was barely there.
Okay. So how is it having a brother from another set and you being from another set?
Well, our sets are allies, so it was cool. We already going to events with each other. We already seen each other at functions, stuff like that. Every time, we not that far away, and a lot of the dudes from the hood got family from over there, so it's kind of cool being from an ally gang. I ain't really had to ever run into none of my family from so-called enemy hoods and stuff like that. So my big brother really was just like a dude that laced me when it came to like this hood shit, like being a crip. He was like telling me, what the ins and outs, what to do and what not to do, and just how to stand up for yourself, be a man. He always told me the most important thing beyond cripping is to be a man. That's all you got to remember.
So there was no ever talk with your brother be like, yo, why you go over there and go fuck with them niggas? Why don't you?
Oh yeah, for sure. He was mad. I was a gang banging period. Like he squabbled me and everything. He was punching on me because when he got out of YA. My brother, a big dude, he like 6'6", with size, muscle. He whipped my ass when he got out of YA. He was hot, but then he was like, man, but shoot, I got tattoos. He like, man, it is you really from over there? And I had a name that he was hearing about, so he knew it was official. It's nothing I could do. You know what I mean? Nothing he could do. But he definitely whipped my ass though. He was hot. Gave me told me talk shit, everything. Never, he still talk shit.
So you gonna say that you basically had basically no choice. You already there. You already basically participating. Your brother's already in the film. He's in it too. It's kind of like dominoes gonna fall in order.
Mhm.
So how did you get put on?
Man, it was like for the longest I was just hanging with my big cousins that's from the hood. we just they really like my family was kind of good at hiding the hood shit around family. You know what I'm saying? So like when they around us, we kind of just chasing girls, skateboarding, playing basketball. The worst thing that my big cousin to do is probably like rob the Paisa man or something, the fruit truck dude. I ain't never really seen him like bang on nobody or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? But I know where they from. So, but it got to a point like where you know, the hood start getting hot. Like temperatures start changing in the hood. Wars start happening. People getting killed. Homies start having more expectations of my cousins and shit. Like you got to be present. You know what I mean? Shit going on. So when they present, I'm going with them everywhere because I'm living with them. At this time, I ran away from home. I was getting into it with moms and shit. So I'm staying with my cousins. So I'm going with them where they going. I'm hanging out in the hood, seeing dudes come on the block, shoot it out, all that. You know what I'm saying? And eventually we just stopped doing the square shit, skateboarding and all that, and we on the block. And then like his older uncle from the hood is like a dude, a tripper. Like he don't want to see you hanging out over here if you ain't from over here. So he start, hey, where you from, fool? Like he start banging on me every day, like pressing me. So he like, man, if you gonna be over here, you gotta be from over here. So eventually I'm like, man, I'll start leaving for real because I ain't want to get put on. I'm like, man, I'm out of here. Like, and my big cousin, Baby Flint, was like, nah, bro, I don't want you to be from the hood. So I started leaving. And then, like I said, I went to jail. That's when it was like, all right, when you get out, you're getting put on. So I'm already having a name in jail. So when I got out, the homies took me straight to the block. Really, we really started on the east side in the East Coast. It was like a function with the homies had over there. I was squabbling up in the backyard over there. And then the homies like, you know, you got to go squabble up in the hood. So it was like, went to the hood, squabble up, and got my name like that. Like you gonna fight until the homies feel like you got your ass beaten up. Basically, you ain't gonna get jumped. You just gonna squabble head up until the homies feel like, all right, yeah, he fought for himself. Like if you don't fight back, you gonna get told to leave and come back next year, or try again, or just don't come back.
So what you had like two fades? You had two different hoods.
I had like probably 4 fades that night, 4 squabbles.
To get put on?
Yeah. I had 4 good squabbles. But to be honest, you gonna squabble. Like back then, we used to have hood meetings like every week, damn near. And like homies used to be, like you used to really have to make your round. So after you get put on, you know it's gonna be a bunch of niggas that don't know you. So they gonna be like, man, who is bro? Like I ain't see him squabble. Like I want to see bro squabble again. So you really gonna be fighting for a lot of weeks and months until, or I mean, really weeks. Sometimes it go for a month, 2. But you gonna keep squabbling until like the homies feel like, all right, he a homie, like he proving himself. You gotta basically just prove yourself to the homies.
So
like he got heart, he fighting.
Okay. Well, you know, you gonna need to. You're gonna have, you know,
Yeah.
somebody that's representing something that's that serious. You know, you gotta be able to take it serious.
Yeah, for sure. That's something the homies used to even tell me. My fault. I was gonna add to that.
Go ahead, ask
Like my older homie used to tell me, he was like, right when I got put on, hey, start doing your push-ups. That's what he said. You better start doing your push-ups. And like he used to want us to fight a lot because he knew I was finna go to jail. He knew he was already preparing us for jail, basically. Like the G homies was seeing our future type shit.
So you mentioned like G homies and tinies and, you know, stuff like that. For everybody that doesn't know what that is, do you want to explain to everybody what that means? What tiny, low, G homie, what all does that mean, and what in ranking order is that?
That's basically just your family, like a junior, like big, like you know what I mean, like the first, the second, the third. Like if you was to be named after your father or something, that's all it is. Like the name getting passed down. Like so, you know, big number 1, Lil number 2, baby number 3, tiny number 4, and then some hoods do beyond that, like infant number 5 and stuff like that. It's just the lineage, basically, your pedigree, or if you would.
You would have to get put on for these names.
Yeah, I mean, it all depend on who you was raised up under, but at least in my generation, it's way different now. I know stuff done changed. You know, people be getting put on that as a grown man. Like the age don't matter, so it's kind of like you ain't really have to grow up with the dude that you might be named under. You know what I mean? He might just take a liking to you that day. I really don't know how it go these days, but when I was growing up, it was just most likely your family member, your older cousin, uncle, dad, brother, even sister or mom, and then you just be named under your the dude you like you was coming up with, the older homie who took a liking to you. He ain't gotta necessarily be like an OG. It could be somebody your age, a peer, but he gotta be an authority figure to approve it though. That's the only thing. I gotta be, you know what I mean, somebody that's stamped.
Okay. And you say you from the '60s, basically where Nipsey Hussle's from. Is there anybody else famous from that area that you've either seen come up or you know that came up from that same area?
Mm, I know some up and coming right now. Let me think. I mean, hell yeah. I mean, you got Big U. He was doing his thing with Nick Cannon for sure. And you got well, shit. Dang, I don't know why I'm drawing a blank right now. I know Corrupt. He from out the area. Uh, shoot, Battle Cat, CJ Mack. You know what I mean? Them dudes y'all might not know about. They kind of back in the day. But yeah, it's a few. Like, you know, nobody as big as Nip though. Like, but yeah, I mean, you got a few that. But the thing is, most of them dudes once they get success, they kind of fall back. You know what I mean? They understand you can't really straddle the fence. Like you gotta choose a side, low key success or the hood. So you ain't gonna really see them associated with the hood too much. You know what I mean?
So you've had people that are got some sort of notoriety that will come to the hood and be like, "Yo, I want to be a part of the hood, but I don't want to be a part of the hood fully." That have some sort of status.
Yeah, them dudes for sure. Like used to be somebody. They had a name in the hood, but they own the bigger and better things now. Like I ain't seen or heard of them hanging out. Like and I feel like they shouldn't anyway. To be honest.
Um, what positive things? Like I'm gonna ask you, what positive things came from being from your area? Like at the end of the day, when you think back, like what positive stuff affected my life in ways that if I didn't join that type of life, I'd be either not put up on game on certain stuff, whether it's money or shit. Even it could be street smarts, to where hey, I'm glad I know this because now I know to watch certain people. You know what I mean? Like what positive stuff have you learned just being in the life, not being in incarcerated, but just being in the life in general.
Yeah, I don't know if I would call it exactly positive, but definitely got some insight and some enlightenment from the streets though, or from the hood. Like you said, just being able to read situations under, like being even in certain rooms or around certain people, being able to keep your head on the swivel and listen off of certain things being said, stuff like that, and definitely, the hustle. That's one thing it teach you though, because it's really you gotta, you out there for your, like, it's eat or get eaten basically out there. Like you gotta know how to keep up, hustle, keep some money in your pocket, especially in the hoods in Los Angeles. It's like you not only in competition with your enemies, but you also in competition with just the niggas in the streets. Period. Niggas be out here having money. You know what I mean? That's what they known for out here in LA. So it's gonna teach you how to, for sure, understand the importance of having some money in your pocket. And really just the main thing I think I took from the streets is learning how to read people and read the room, knowing how to take yourself out of certain situations, as opposed to where I would back then want to put myself or be the aggressor, or even be the reason why you would want to get out of that situation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It taught me how to look at things differently than I did as a predator. Now that I'm just like on the defense, or not even on nothing at all, really just as a family man now.
Yeah.
I gotta see it from a different point of view for my kids, basically.
And how many kids you got now that
I got two boys, 3 and 5.
Okay, that's dope. We like hearing that. Yeah, especially with you saying, you didn't have a dad, so now even going to prison, you're still in your kid's life fully. That's and actively. That's great to hear. Like I'm not gonna lie to you. It's not a lot of niggas can do that or want to do that. You know what I mean?
For sure, appreciate that, man. Yeah, I'm definitely there.
And you
Uh,
said, and you went to prison, correct? Both
yeah,
prison and jail. They're one and the same. You're gonna go to. Um, Having your affiliation. Did you ever be like, shit? I'm finna go. I'm finna go to the towers and it's finna be up. Like you ever
yeah,
was
nah,
like, nah, like I don't know, man.
nah. I ain't gonna lie. Like, yeah, probably like I said when I first got locked up when I was like a little kid and I wasn't really from nowhere. Yeah, I was. I ain't gonna say I was scared, but I had a little fear though, cause I'm just like, man, I ain't really no gang banger. I don't even know what to expect. But after the little training and all the stuff I went through in the streets, fighting the homies and fighting enemies, and the little times in the halls and stuff, I was definitely like, I don't know, my first cases too, like that kind of did something to me mentally because they was some heavy cases. Like I was fighting life, so it kind of gave me that I don't give a fuck mentality. You know what I mean? Like I was kind of more like nigga, you banging on me, like you know what I'm in here for? Like I was kind of like that, like and I was in a wheelchair, so cause I was on a high speed chase and I flew through the windshield, so I was immobile for like the first few months. I was in a wheelchair. I split the front of my head and the back of my skull. I had staples in my head, my forehead, and the back of my head, and I was wrapped up. Like basically, I couldn't really do much. So when dudes would bang on me, I'm like I'm already pissed off, because I'm like, you see, I'm crippled. I'm in here fighting some hot shit, and you over here worried about me. You know what I'm saying? So I was kind of like on that. Like I wanted to hop out the wheelchair and get cracking, but to be honest, dudes was definitely aggressive and it's cutthroat. People don't even care about you being in no wheelchair. They don't care about you being wounded. They gonna attack you in there if you an enemy.
That's a fact. That's a fact. How much time did you do total as a teenager from when you started going to an adult? How much time did you do altogether?
Shit, total would be about 16 years.
So you say like half your life, a little under half your life.
Yeah,
So
yeah, for sure.
you're gonna see things a lot different than the average person.
Yeah, hell yeah. Definitely, I noticed. I probably take some things a little more serious. I might not show it, but it definitely make me pay more attention to things. I noticed that people kind of take for granted out here. You kind of, you like me personally, especially writing. Maybe that's why I became a writer. I started realizing like I pay attention to everything. People, like even if I have one encounter, I'm paying attention to how they act and what they saying and what they, what's their conversation about? What's on their mind? Like what type of person are they? You know what I mean? It's just like and I might not be locked in on that person forever, but it just be I'm reading everything and every person at all times. It just make you real. What's the word for it? Real observant. Yeah, observing.
You're just a real observant of like how life is now, and it's precious. It's some time we do time. You don't get time back.
Yeah, definitely. Time is valuable, probably the most valuable thing here.
And so, with doing all that time, at any point, at any time, did you regret either joining the life, joining the game banging life, or just the life in general that led to that?
No, I can't say that I regretted that because it just felt like that's what it was gonna be. You know what I mean? It seemed like it was really no other option. But I definitely had regrets of certain things I did. But the life, no, because I just had a certain understanding. As I grew, I started to have a certain understanding because I used to be mad a lot, like dang, at questioning God, like why the hell you let this happen? why all this? Like, why is this going on? And why my life turned out like this? But then I start realizing that it's just how it's supposed to go based on based on your steps you take, basically. Because every time I think back, I'm like, it was always a different opportunity. I could have left and went with my dad and lived in the Bay Area, or I could have went with my grandpa and I could have left. You know what I'm saying? But I just didn't feel like, as a child, I didn't realize that was an option for real. You know what I mean? I'm just thinking about what I see now. You, like I said, when you're young, you kind of living in the moment. So you thinking about my friends I got now. I don't want to go make no new friends and try to get to know my pops and get to, you know what I mean? So I can't say that I regret it. I just understood that that's what the path was, and I always had options, but the steps I took was just what was supposed to happen. Is because I wouldn't have the mentality I have now, or anything could have happened. I might not be here now. Like, you know what I mean? Jail could have preserved me. So it's just, you gotta just go grow with the punches and understand that God don't make no mistakes. The only mistakes is the signs you ignored, in my opinion.
And that's some real shit. I'm not gonna lie, that's real. Um, we gonna step away from the questions real quick. And we gonna spin back. Let's just pinpoint where you were at, where you were saying like like you were just young, and that's just how it goes. Like me, we talk a lot, and a lot of the stuff you be saying, you say we were taught wrong. You know what I mean? Emphasize on what that means to you when you say you were taught wrong.
Well, to me, like a lot of times we got, not to disrespect our parents and that, but we have like ignorant people raising us, people that don't, when I say ignorant, I mean they just misinformed without information. You know what I mean? So they raising us and they lost. So we already getting the loss. We getting recycled knowledge from these people that really don't know what they're doing, even though they got good intentions. So we already getting taught wrong, and especially in the streets. Once you get out there, you got homies telling you stuff that they know ain't right, like stuff that they probably not even doing. You know what I mean? They encouraging you to go rob somebody's granny or go, you know what I mean? Whatever they telling you to do that ain't, in the streets, you ain't doing nothing to contribute to the community. Basically, is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? So it's like everything you getting taught is ass backwards. Even with the destruction part, like taught to hate your enemies and not even know why, or not even know who these people are, not having no end goal for the war. Like we just up for no reason, just rebels without a cause. It's just, you know what I mean? It's kind of like it's just you doing everything just to waste life, to waste time, and that's why I emphasize the living in the moment as a young nigga, because that's really what it is at that time. Everything is in the moment. Quick lick. Let me get this money right now. Blow it fast. Get it right back. Everything is just happening real quick until you crash, or until the police get a hold of you.
Yeah, and I'm gonna touch on that. Like even with me, everybody I feel like eventually you either live a fast life and you slow down, and it helps you think. Be like, yo, what we doing is not it. Like shit is the where whatever the fast life you leave is gonna leave you to a fast wherever the hell you gonna end up. like we don't we need to really be a little bit more here more present in what we got going on. Like
Now that's a fact. Sitting in prison that long make you realize that you can kind of manipulate the time to your advantage. Also, you just gotta have faith and keep stepping and building building on whatever your knack is, or your niche, your passion is. But you gotta and it also make you realize that everything take time. Like me getting to my freedom, that took time. Anything worth having take a lot of time. Building wealth. So, once you get to a certain uh length in your journey, or experience in your life, you start understanding that you gotta settle down and slow things down in order to accomplish or accumulate something.
and we're taught that early age. Hey, when you get 18, when you get 18, most of the time when we get 18, we really still don't know what the fuck going on.
For
No
sure.
matter what they could teach you all the fuck they want to. Most of the time, we're not picking it up because either it's wrong or we don't want to listen. and we gotta just learn on our own, for real, realistically.
Yeah, experience is the best teacher. And I was just hearing. I think I read somewhere it said men don't really mature until 35. So, in my opinion, you really never stop maturing because life constantly changing. People start constantly coming up with new ideas. So you always learning stuff every day. You until the day you die, really.
Yeah, that's a fact. You mean you're never gonna stop learning. It could even be from watching TikToks, or you could be watching videos, or going outside and watching homeless people and realize it's not how you want to be, or whatever. You feel me? You gonna learn some way or somehow. Um, talk about life. Like if you didn't choose to be gangbanging or get in trouble at all, what would you have done? Like early age stuff. Like what was your like? You'd be like, man, I would have went to the army or stuff like that. Like what would you have done? Where you think you would
Yeah,
have been?
I could have seen the Navy as an option because that's what my whole side of my father's side is all military, Marine, Navy, all of that. But I didn't really know them until later. So if he had been in my life, that could have been an option. But for the most part, I was into I always been into books, really like reading and writing. I started writing stories and poems at a young age. I used to love music, like rapping. I used to be freestyling in the kitchen, like clowning the whole family, like you know what I mean. When they're like a joke type rapper, like Eminem type shit, I probably would have been on that, like music, anything like that, because yeah, I used to struggle in school, like even before I even joined the streets. So that was already like, because I had dyslexia, so I was already kind of like trying to figure something else out other than a scholarly type job, something you need an education on. You know what I mean? I was already like, damn, let me figure this out. Like, so yeah, it probably would have been something like that, or the construction field. You know what I mean? But at that time, all I was thinking about was just shit, chasing girls. You know what I mean? Being cool, being fresh. Like I wouldn't even in music. Like so, that probably would have been. It probably would have been like a music type field, doing some. Oh yeah, and I could play the piano. I forgot. So it could have been something like that.
Oh, you can play the
Cause I
piano.
learned. I taught myself how to play the piano when I was hella young. Like my auntie had like one of them big grand pianos in the living room. I used to get on there and play it. And I thought I was trash until the whole family was in there like, man, keep doing that. We're like, what are you doing? Who taught you how to play that? I'm like, nobody. I just got on here, started playing it.
Oh, so you self taught.
Yeah, I just listened to it and like figured it out. I don't even know how to explain it.
That's always kind of been you. You could just I'll figure it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I could adapt damn near to it. That's yeah. I'm definitely an adapter. That's how I did the time. Shoot, that's you gotta adapt to be able to know you not gonna or think you're not gonna get out and still survive.
And what I don't want to be like asking questions that maybe you shouldn't answer. What did you go to prison for?
Well, originally I went for a robbery, and that's what I went to camp. I went to camp, so I was in jail doing a camp term, and then they pulled me out for an ad charge, a murder, and attempted murder, and a burglary. It really was a bunch of charges. They added two robberies, attempted robbery, and yeah, that was it. But they ended up convicting me of attempted murder.
And I'm not gonna make you touch on it, but like being already incarcerated, already serving your time for one charge, and then you get pulled out, and it's funny because I already know how that is. They hit you with the last name, and they bring you that paper. Like
Hmm.
you start flipping it, you like, what does it mean? Like, you know what I mean? So how did
Yeah.
that feel when when they advocate you on that and it's as serious as it is?
To be honest, I didn't believe it. I was on my way out the door. They were talking about furloughing me from camp. So I'm like, when they came, they were like, yeah, they need to see you in the counselor's office. I'm sitting there talking to some of my boys. They're like, they came and pulled me to the side, one of the staff. They said they need to see me in the office. So I went over there, and it's it was like a DA or somebody that came to see me. They was like, yeah, you got a new case. We'll see you in court on whoop-de-whoop date. I don't remember exactly. I'm like, what? And then they were telling me, yeah, you facing 40 years to life. That's all they told me. They didn't tell me what it was for. I'm like, man, what the hell are y'all talking about? 40 years? I'm a juvenile. I can't get that much time. But they was changing the law at that time where 14 years and up could be 14-year-old and up could be charged as an adult. And all my crime partners was adults. So I'm not even knowing what it's for at first. They mentioned some robberies and stuff, and they took my shoes. So I'm like, I don't know what's going on, man. Honestly, I was just telling the homies like I'm about to be out, man. They got some bullshit. They don't know what they talking about for real. And then I went to court for it and still didn't believe them. I'm like, bro, I didn't do this. I don't know what they talking about. And then it wasn't until I went to the next court hearing for my fitness hearing where they show you all the evidence and they put up a tape of me on camera leaving the scene. And then that's when I was like, damn, like they got me on camera. Like they never told me nothing about a camera or nothing. And then I looked at my family, my mom and my G-moms. They was had their hands in their head in their hands crying. Like, cause they seen my face on camera. They was like, there ain't no way out of this shit, basically. Like that's like basically I mean,
How old were you when this happened?
I think I had just turned 15.
So
Cause I was in camp when I was 14 already. Like I was in camp almost like I think 10 months, or maybe it might have been 6. I'm not sure. It might have been 8 to 10 months. I was in camp already, and I just turned 15 in camp.
so you were facing 40 years to life at 15 years old.
Yeah,
Like when you repeat that to yourself, can you imagine somebody being like, "How you home?" Like,
man, I be asking myself that too, but I don't question it. I just thank God every day. I'm the real, but I do be like, man, you're not supposed to be here, but. Yeah, they changed the law because somebody seen that it was unfit for children to get that much time. Thankfully,
yeah, I mean the average 15-year-old is playing the video game or, you know, not, out doing that. So
yeah.
with doing all that time, at what point were you just like, when I get out, I'm finna just, they finna be mad as hell when I get out. I'm finna,
Nah,
I'm finna put belt. Like,
nah, I ain't gonna lie. I did so much time in that was like long gone already. In the way I did my time wasn't easy. I did hard time, on the maximum 180 for the most part. So it was always cracking, and there was a lot of unity with the brothers, a lot of unity amongst blacks. We tight in there. So I was already becoming conscious in there anyway. My mind state was already different, you know what I mean, coming out the door. I still was immature, still got the hood in me, still like was thinking like, oh, I want to go to the hood. But for the most part, I was like, man, I'm about to I was having talks with a lot of dudes that I grew up with too that was changing in there too. We was already like talking about it can't be the same this time when we get out. We can't be trying to be on the block, trying to be clout chasing for the hood, be the top nigga in the hood. It gotta be something different. Even though I didn't even have no kids, I'm just like I know I got a talent here with this writing stuff with you know what I mean, with the way I think. I'm just like I gotta do something with it other than gang bang, you know what I mean? It gotta be a bigger picture. It's a bigger world out there. I used to always tell myself the hood is a real small population in the world. That's something we don't really realize. Like we really is like a 0.5 in the world, to be honest. The hood, like when you get out to the rest of the world, you see it's people really living life that don't even know nothing about this. They thinking about corporate stuff. They thinking about real bills and their children's future and stuff. The stuff, you know what I mean? The average dude on the block I can't even process. I'm like, I gotta get my mentality there. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I like that. I like that. Let's touch back on like what was the hardest thing in prison besides probably getting the ad book for that? What would you say was the hardest part in total? Like all together?
Man, it's accumulation. I can't even pinpoint one thing, man. We done talked about some of this stuff. I don't know if you want to, I,
I
just
mean,
the
you can,
transportation.
you can, you
The,
can, you can talk
I
about
ain't
it.
even getting the detail, but just on the maximum yard, the transportation, the contraband is something you got to process. That's some horrible stuff right there to go through. Just you got to put it in your body basically to hide stuff. If you want something in there, a phone, you'll see dudes putting phones in their body. You know what I mean? Like, I'm talking about big old iPhones. Like, you better just hope you know somebody that ain't trip that don't care about themselves that much. You know what I mean? Is that part right there? Uh, shoot, the days when you know it's wartime and on the yards I was on, that was happening a lot. My first day in prison, I didn't realize how bad the wars can get. Like people dying, people losing their eyes, people, in one of the prisons I was in, I got a phone call. My fault. There was a what's it called? The in the side of the cells, the sockets were all taken out, and the wires are live sticking out of the wall. So when the ride cracked off, the Mexicans got into the control tower where you open the doors from because the COs was like not trained. They were new COs and they ran out of the control center to try to contain the riot. So they left it unmanned. And the Mexicans seen this from the day room, ran in there and opened the cells. And they was running in the black cells like 3 deep with knives, pushing dudes onto the wire. Like they was pushing them on the wire, pouring water on them. They was coming in there like with cups of water, electrocuting them. They called that. They actually called the riot the barbecue, like shit like that. That was my first day in prison. Like when I first got there from YTS. So just like knowing like these are the type of wars we in. Like this, the type of stuff that can happen. People dying, people losing their lives, like multiple casualties. I even heard people begging for their lives. Like I heard black dudes in their cells begging for their lives. Like please don't come in here. I'm like that shit is like a real culture shock, like a real eye opener. It's like you not out here with guns shooting from a distance with safety behind you. You got real hand to hand combat. People really attacking you, man. With, you know what I mean, with knives in hand. So yeah, that right there, just preparing for wars and knowing that I'm about to be on a type of yard where this is constantly happening at. Yeah, that was something hard to deal with for sure.
So you should at that point. You're saying that was your first day, so you're gonna say were you involved fully into that riot, or were you just like I'm just here?
Yeah, I was involved in it. I was in the kitchen where it actually first cracked off at. It was it was like some dudes joking, a black dude and a white dude joking with each other, and it got out of hand. And you can't really argue with no other race like that. So the black dude hopped up, knocked the white dude out, and honestly, to be honest, he started whipping so much ass, like he socked the Mexican on accident. They was trying to get out the way, but he was just getting cracking. Like he knocked this dude out, bouncing from here to here. Seen the Mexican trying to move out the way and knocked him out. And then that's when it just went crazy. Mexicans and whites all hopped up and just like a chain reaction. Dorms, all the kitchens, all of the day rooms, even the yard. They like got wind of it, like oh it's going up, and start cracking. So it was like just the whole prison. It lasted for an hour, I think they said an hour and a half or something.
Um, well, if you want, we could talk about the racial. You want to talk about the racial divide in prison, and so people can understand that too.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we
So
could talk about that.
how does it go with let's say with us? What are our politics?
I mean, you all gonna have your own separate own separate card or collective. Like brothers from the north, if they ain't got no affiliation, they usually run Northern card or Bay Area card, or you got the Northern Crip card. It's all different. You know what I mean? Except for the Bloods, the Bloods, I believe they do their own thing. Like they just all together, blood one unity, one unity. But yeah. So everybody, got their own collective and one person who speak for that collective. The person usually who got the best communication skills. They usually talk for them. The person that's level hate. You know what I mean? That's basically how it is. But when it comes to the races, we all one. We all just black. You know what I mean? And then you got your others, which is Asians, uh, Pacific Islanders, Tongans, all that type of stuff. Native Americans, I think, got their own situation. And it's just like that. Whites got their own things. Everybody's separated by race. Or race and then gang affiliation is like the second class of that separation.
So, but out in the real world, like you said, others most of the time out in the real world, they get along with us. They would, we're all one and the same, correct?
Yeah, they usually do, but not in there. We even have wars with the others. They do that. They definitely got their own thing. They got their own politics. They got their own space and all that. You know what I mean? Yeah, they separate from us for sure.
hmm So for people that don't know that, out in the real world, it's separated in there. It's not separate at all. What would you say that their politics are? The others, what are their politics?
I can't even lie. I don't really know. They more. I know they be more peaceful. They run a strict program. Like, you know what I mean? They kind of just be they hum. They be the ones I seen was humble dudes. They do tattoos for the brothers though. They'll do that. You could get tattoos done from them. You could get tattoos done from the Northerners, the Bulldogs. Anybody that's like a opposition of the Southerner, I guess.
And what all categorizes you as an other?
It could be uh shoot, you could just come in here and say you Puerto Rican or like, you know what I mean, whatever you affiliate with your nationality is, like, you know what I mean, anything other than Mexican, black, white, I believe, yeah, anything other than that.
Because I've been in jail before, and I've seen like they'll do like Russians. Mm, Are they
Yeah,
would you
that's a
out there? Do y'all consider them others?
see, it's not really what we consider them, it's what they consider themselves as. It's what they come in there and tell people. It's like they can either go for it or not.
Different politics from different places. So
Yeah,
where y'all were at, would y'all consider a Russian person an other?
I'm gonna consider him white, and I'm pretty sure that the whites is gonna consider him white. They gonna press him for sure. The whites is gonna press him, and if they see him running other, they might have a problem with that. To be honest,
Okay, so with that being said, what are what are their politics? I don't want to use the correct word. Well, what's the
talking about the
white?
Woods,
Yeah. What are the woods? What are the woods? Politics.
the Woods run a strict program too. Like, I'm gonna be honest, they run a strict program. They definitely handling their business. If they see something they don't like, they be on like, and they really, to be honest, the white population in prison is extremely short. I know that might seem crazy because if you look up the crime rate, it's gonna show them extremely high, but they really small in there. So it'd be like 10 of them out of everybody else car having 100. You know what I mean? So yeah, they definitely are gonna press they politics. I don't know much about it other than they they want their white people to be with their white people. So if they see like a person that's white in there and not programming with them, they gonna say something about it and tell you like they gotta be with us, get off the yard, or get cracking. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's where I was going with that. Like, have you seen white people be like, "Yo, I want to be run with the blacks. I want to run with the others. I want to run with."
Oh yeah. Hell yeah, I got a homie. I got a white homie from my hood. That dude, he one of them. He definitely he got went through it before, and you got an expectation though. Like if you a white homie from the hood, you gonna have to crack it off. We gonna follow suit. We got your back for sure. But if they tripping, we gonna tell you you know what to do, and we right there with you. We gonna be right there with you as long as you get cracking. But if you expecting us to just come attack for you, nah, we gotta make sure we gotta see that you got heart. And most of the white homies be having heart. They get cracking.
And the well, I guess you guys have probably just one Southern card out there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what are their politics, and are they as strict as everyone else?
Yeah, they definitely running. What they was when I was in prison. I heard a lot of this shit is loose now. I don't know. That was that was almost 10 years ago. So, but yeah, when I was in here on the 180 on the maximum security prison, what you got to understand is levels to prisons too. So the politics change different levels. So, but on the maximum security prison, definitely they running a strict program. That's why it was always on those yards. There's a lot of wars. It's always cracking because they do run such a strict program. They're really not going for nothing. If you owe money, you don't handle that in a certain amount of time, they're gonna come handle it for you, which is gonna cause a riot. You know what I'm saying? They do that with any race they dealing with. And on most of the like 180 yards, you're not even supposed to be doing business dealings with other races like that. It's supposed to be like if you don't pay them straight up, you don't do the business.
So, out of all the cars, would you say which one would you say is a little bit more structured, or has you say a little bit more freedom than others?
From what I've seen, the northern Mexicans, they could probably got the strictest program I've seen in there. They like, yeah, they really be on their shit for sure. The northern Mexicans, they be programming. They be like when everybody else relaxed, they still working out on the yard, calling out cadence. You know what I mean? They be programming for sure.
And would you say
The northern structure.
and would you say it probably like the little more we don't give a fuck about what they do. Like if it's wartime, them motherfuckers get fucked up. It's whatever. Like we not worried about them doing their burpees. We're not making sure. Which ones would you
To be
say?
honest, I done seen everybody get relaxed, kind of like other than the northerners for real. I done seen everybody kind of get relaxed before, but on the but not on the 180. On the 180, everybody is running a strict program. The blacks, the every car, like yeah. But as soon as you get dropped down like one level below 180, you start seeing like everybody kind of letting stuff go a little bit, you know what I mean? Except for the northerners for real.
So
But the northerners usually not on those yards. My fault.
my bad.
What'd you say?
Keep going. You said the Northerners usually aren't on those yards. That's a great topic.
Yeah, you don't really see those dudes on those lower level yards too much.
Because well, I've from being in Northern California, I heard that they're supposed to. You probably got what 48 hours, and you got to get
Yeah,
off.
I think something like that.
Yeah,
I don't really know they politics, but I know they wasn't able to be on the yard with them.
yeah. They got about like 48 hours, and you got to get off on the first person you see or first whoop you up you see.
Yeah, for sure.
Have you seen that happen?
See, when I was on the yard with the northerners and the southerners, they was at like peacetime. It was so they was like, I don't know, like I used to assume that they be chilling with each other for so long because they tired of being broke. You know what I mean? Dudes want to get visits. Dudes want to get some drugs, some phones, some money accumulated. So they like give it 6 months, and then after that, it's back up. They find a reason, like they'll get a word from whoever to crack it off. But they don't stay on the yard too long.
Okay. So would you say out of when did you start learning about how many separate like that at a young age? Like when you first, but when did you start realizing like there was a racial divide at like a young age when you first got there, or is it
You kind of always, you always kind of consistent just growing up in LA. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, maybe even up north. I don't know, but you kind of always got like it's always like a little bit of tension there. You know what I mean? Like dudes grew up doing bullshit. To be honest, like robbing the paisa man, like robbing the fruit man, socking out the fly Mexican on his way to school type shit. Like you know what I mean? So they kind of always had like tension, but like we grew up. Like my era grew up with Southerner hood, so we kind of have a relationship with them too. But it was definitely like an underlying tension, like just in LA, you kind of can sense in certain areas you go to, you'll feel the tension, you know what I mean? So yeah, I kind of always had like even to be honest, when I was a youngster, when I was like probably 8 years old, I was living in Watts in the Bounty Hunters in the Blood Hood with my grandpa. That's where he grew, he lived there his whole life. And I used to try to go outside and play, and I looked like a little Mexican kid. So they wouldn't let me play. the little bounty hunter kids, they be like, man, you can't play over here. You Mexican. Like I had to fight every day to prove that I was black. I used to be like, man, I'm black. Like they would never let me hang out until I like fought like a black, basically.
So Mexicans and blacks basically don't get along in prison at all.
Yeah, well, I mean, we got to survive, but for the most part, like, yeah, we don't really get along like that. Like them, you know what I mean? We got everything separate. It's kind of like Jim Crow in there with the Mexicans. You know what I mean? Like we living with each other, but we just you stay over there, I'll stay over here.
Is prison the only place you feel like Mexicans just have that animosity towards blacks, or even outside you feel like it's still that same animosity?
Mm, I can't really see my experience now is like just I'm on a different lane where like everybody ain't really paying attention. People focus on their own stuff. But y'all see it out here too though. Like it's depending on what area you in for real. But it's definitely some, it's there. It's just a part of it's part of the growing up out here. It's a part of the lifestyle. I mean, it's really not just. I can't even say it's just the Mexicans. It's just dudes and gangs in general. That's like a part of the script. You know what I mean? My hood tougher than yours. We better than you. Like, you know what I mean? And that can evolve into hatred.
And we'll actually let's spin back to the riot segment of what we were talking about. You being in the riot, like you saying that was your first day.
Yeah, right from YTS. As soon as I got there,
How many hours were you there?
I was there for a few hours. Intake take a long time. Like it was lunch, so I really wasn't even supposed to be in the cafeteria. They just told me to go in there and get a lunch because I was waiting still in the holding tanks, and I was in the hallway. But matter of fact, it wasn't holding tanks. It was just benches in the hallway, and they either would let you sit there or they'll chain you up to it. So it's like hella people just sitting in the hallway. Right when I walked over there, as soon as I get to the kitchen, I hear like a loud commotion, like the jokes stopped being jokes and dudes was arguing already. So I'm like, when I got in there, I walked in there right for the first punch, knocked right to see the white dude get knocked out. And it was like I had to get cracking. I had to snatch away from the police, drop my lunch, and just start fighting.
So at any point, I'm gonna ask you, did you realize that it was gonna be a race riot?
Yeah, that's why I instantly jumped in. Because as soon as I seen him knock the white boy out, I was already looking around. Because like you got to be alert. You might mess around, have a knife in your neck, sitting there staring at them. You know what I mean? So I'm already snatched away from the police, and I'm looking for my opponent.
Because you do got people that are gonna ask, like, you know, some people like I'm not gonna lie, like I was locked up at one point and it was gonna be a riot, and it was like against the whites, and some white dude was still hanging out with the Mexicans. he he didn't know what was going on. You feel me? So that's why I'm as to the average person, I don't think anybody knows what a race riot is or are gonna be ready for that. For
Yeah, it's
those
like,
people, do you feel like it's probably best for you to get out of the way?
man, if you get out the way, you don't have to worry about your people when the riot over. You got to get cracking. As soon as it's up, you gotta like if you in there, if you a person that's trying to be on the main line and not on a 50/50 or SNY, and you a programmer, then yeah, you as soon as you see it going up, your best bet and for safety for your survival is to not hesitate. Sitting there hesitating, even if you think you about to try to, there is really no get out the way. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, there's no you trying to get out the way, think you about to go get crawl under a bench or hide. You gonna be getting stabbed in the back of your head or get stumped out. Somebody gonna attack you. You know what I mean? They not finna just let you get out the way. Like that, people looking when it's cracking. The opposition is looking for victims. That's what you should be doing. Try not to be a victim and be an aggressor. You know what I mean? So yeah, like people do definitely run and try to get away, and they usually get hurt the most, or they get away and hide, and then they get hurt later on by their people.
So that's where I was going with it. Have you ever seen people not participate and get violated for not participating?
Yeah, in the ride I was in, my second ride, I think. Matter of fact, no, that first ride I told you about too. Yeah, it's always somebody. Like I said, I heard people begging for their life in that first ride. People was in there like, please, man, I do big business. I heard somebody telling him to do that. He do big business with him on the streets, and man, you know me, don't do this. Like, please don't do it to me. Like, so I done heard people, yeah, begging for their life. Uh, Dudes, and I don't know what happened to him later. Sometimes stuff don't even happen, to be honest, because it be like my word against his. Like, it's kind of hard to prove it when you in the middle of the riot because everybody supposed to get cracking. And if you over here saying, "Oh, I saw this happen," now it's making it like, well, what the hell you was doing? How you was watching something happen? You had to be doing nothing to be watching, right? Like, you can't be fighting and stabbing, adrenaline pumping, looking for a victim, and you still recording what's going on over here. You know what I mean? So yeah,
Right.
it'd be like, dude, it'd be kind of hard to like even push that line. Like people would have to like blatantly see, like, damn, he instantly laid down. You know what I mean?
So
And
would you say those same people they get violated for that? It's basically like, is it what they would call, from people that don't know what a removal would be?
I mean, the reason for the removal in that situation is we don't need you on the main line. You an extra body for us to worry about, basically, because it's like you're not here. Support. We need. It's prison is a war. It's a place of war. It's a place of negativity, hatred. It's nothing good going on. It's all bad. So you gotta knowing that, knowing it can crack off at any time. Like we need bodies that's active. We need people on the yard that's gonna
Dookie, that's
push a
my
line
brother.
and,
We
and,
just
and,
some
and
like
give us
Zach
the
and
upper
Cody.
hand. Cause dude,
Thank you for the hearts. Thank you for the hearts.
get
Yeah.
butchered. Yeah, you could get butchered in there. It could get bad for you if you got weak people around you.
That's a fact. Would you say that when a removal happens? Well, here actually, let's explain for people what a removal exactly
Dookie,
is.
that's my brother. We just some like Zach and Cody.
It's basically you victimizing somebody that don't belong in the yard, like beating them up, stumping them out. Because feet or knives is considered a weapon in prison. So if you put feet on somebody, you could remove them by that way. If you stab them, you could remove them by that way. But it don't always necessarily mean they're gonna get removed from the yard. Sometimes they could get stabbed and come back a few months later. So you gotta get them again. You know what I mean? So that's basically a removal where you just really trying to hurt somebody enough or kill them to get them up off the yard.
Have you ever had to be? I'm not even gonna want to even ask you that. Have you ever had someone even mention, do they want to remove you? Have you ever heard of that?
Nah. No, I ain't gonna lie. I was a favorite. Like, excuse me. I ain't gonna act like I was perfect either. I was messing up too. Like, I did dumb shit, gambling on my ass, and like not having money, gambling, owing people for weed. I did stupid shit too, but I was liked so much. Like, I was low key a favorite. Like, you know what I mean? I knew how to write, so I'll write a letter for a dude, mama or girl or something. Like, people just they like me, so they let me get away with a lot. You know what I mean? But I never was in the hot seat for sure. Hell nah. And then that's another thing. I always was the aggressor. Like, so I always like if an issue came up, I know I'm doing BS out here on the yard anyway. So I'm kind of like, let me get cracking on this. Like, that's gonna put me in a better light anyway. You know what I mean? Always going. So I'm like, yeah, that. And then if you owe money too, that's a good way to get out of it. Like, hey, you see me? I had to stab old boy, so hey, I can't pay you. Like, I gotta go. Like, you get up out of debt like that. I ain't gonna lie.
Have you had to participate in a removal?
Oh hell yeah, man! I got caught for every one too, so I don't mind talking about it. I ain't never got away with a removal. Shit, cause yeah, I just didn't have. I guess it's a part of anger control or something, but I never could stop the blackout from happening once I get cracking. Like, I always, dudes would be conscious when they getting cracking, and they'd be like, "Let me get up out the way, hide the knife, and your stuff like that." I never would stop when I did it. Like when I did a removal, I just always kept going. So they'd spray me, shoot the block gun, and I'm definitely getting the shoe after. But y'all done been in a gang of removals. I ain't gonna lie.
Are there violations for not participating in the removal? Because I know it does uh, up your points. You could get taken off. Have you ever seen people get violated for not You're like, I'm not finna go do that. Like,
Hell yeah, I ain't gonna lie. If you say something like that, you better be going to hit on the weekend. You better be coming back with some weed or phones or something, because that's like really the only way you might get a pass. Even then, we got expectations. Like I said, we in here. A lot of dudes doing football numbers. We over here doing life, and you over here talking about you not finna get cracking. That's a red flag. Because like now, what if the Mexicans sneak up on me or anybody get cracking on me? I know for sure you gonna lay down and just let me die. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, you don't want to be around no people like that in the war zone.
when you say war, like when you say war, how does that like affected you outside? Because soldiers go to war and they don't come back fully there. They don't want to. Like how was your mental outside of all that? You said some. You hear people begging for their life. That's not gonna be something like, oh, I'm gonna just go to sleep. Like,
Nah, yeah, that I mean, yeah, you become numb after so. It's like, yo, like anything that gets damaged over time, or any part of your body, it build a callus. Your bone build a callus. Your skin build a callus. It become protection or numb, something to numb the pain, or you know what I mean, something to block it. So yeah, that's basically what happens over time. You build a mental callus, I guess, spiritual callus. I don't know what you would call it. Something that just it kind of desensitizes you. You know what I mean? You kind of become numb after a while. It almost seemed normal. Like, oh, this was supposed to happen. You hear somebody, hearing people scream, getting stabbed to death. It seemed normal after a while because you hear it so much. You almost get to looking for it sometimes. You be in a cell bored. Like, man, if somebody got an issue today, I wonder who finna get got today. Like, you know what I mean? It becomes like a way to pass time sometimes.
um, okay, so at what point, you're finishing up your bid, right? And what let's say, what was your final week like finishing up your bid?
Man, by that time I had learned that to treat prison like a university. So I'm in there like basically I'm just away from home in a university that I can't escape with no women or just nothing to do but study and finish class. Just read, you could take college, you could take trades, and when you can't take trades on a maximum 4 yard, but you could take trades like on a lower yard, and you could take college on any yard. So I was taking college courses, philosophy, African history, math, business, journalism, just whatever I could take that was kind of toward the path I wanted to get into when I got out. So I was doing that type of stuff already, like reading as much as I could, trying to read up on my history, wealth, understanding humans, psychology, anger, trying to understand why I'm so mad, why I'm so frustrated. You know what I mean? Why do I have this anger for these people I don't even know? Like realizing that's just misguided frustration. You know what I mean? Just maybe some anger from my ancestors. I had to start understanding myself more before I got out, so I wouldn't become, you know what I mean, another victim of the system. Do the same cycle all over again.
And at that point, are you still active, fully active and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, I was doing being involved in stuff all the way to like my last 6 months in prison. That was like probably my last issue.
And I hear a lot most of the time when you are coming up on that date, whoever you're running with isn't like, yo, about to go home. I need you to do this, this, and this, and this, and this. You gotta make it home. How supportive was your, you know, how supportive was your Crip organization to helping you being like, yo, like, stop fucking with this nigga, like he about to get out, like
Man, to be
any of that,
honest,
or was there any like talks of, yo, bro, when you get out, you need to do this, you feel me, like, you know what I mean,
I'm gonna
like
be real
I
with
can't
you.
wait to see you on TV, stuff like that.
I'm gonna be real with you though. Like it's rare to run into that. It's a lot of hate in there, a lot of misery. You know what I mean? I thought it would be like that, to be honest, but I got that mostly from people that wasn't even from my hood. A couple dudes from my hood for sure. Like, hey, bro, when you get out, man, keep writing, do your thing. Like, really, you know what I mean? Don't forget me. Like, they used to be like, man, I know you gonna pop with it, just don't forget me and all that. A couple dudes were just like, oh, this nigga go on. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was some hater shit in there, but for the most part, even all the way up to when I was going home, I ain't gonna lie. See, the thing, you gotta read between the lines with a lot of dudes. They're not gonna tell you what they really feeling too. So dudes will be telling you they happy to see you go home, but they'll be in your face bringing up an issue about a homie. Like, hey man, this nigga trying to see if you gonna get cracking on it. You know what I mean? So it's like you want to see me go home, but you bringing me into a politic at the same time. You know what I mean? So it's like I noticed like more from dudes outside of the hood. There was more like, hey man, y'all better not keep. I mean, y'all protect that dude, keep him out of that shit. Like, and I was just, I'm gang banging, so I really just like, man, I signed up for this. I always had that understanding. Like, I was never one of them ones that thought it was gonna be some special treatment for any type of situation or your name or nothing. I'm like, man, you signed up for this while you in here. Cause that's how these other dudes, that's how the Mexicans pressing, that's how all these other dudes pressing for real. Like, they understand this. We signed up for this lifestyle. This would come with it. This is a part of the stepping stones. Honestly,
Yeah, that honestly checks out. I'm gonna ask you, when you got released, how ready were you to change your life? Like, people had like a vision of when they get out, they're like, I'm gonna get a car, house, you feel me? How were
huh,
you like, watch, I'm finna hit the ground running and they not finna be able to catch me? Like,
man, yeah, for sure. Man, I was getting so many blessings, but then I had to learn real quick that knowledge is not the same as wisdom. I'm still understanding that right now. Knowledge, you can have all the knowledge in the world, but it don't mean nothing if you don't know how to use it. You know what I mean? If you don't got the know-how, the experience, the wisdom to put it into play. Cause I'm like, man, I got all this education. I know about this, I know about that, but I don't know where to start. I don't know who to talk to. I don't know what lane to get in for real. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying any and everything to just make a quick buck. So, but like for the most part, I definitely stayed focused because the main thing I understood was I got to change up my circle. I got to change the way I think. I got to change my environment. I understood all that. So I didn't get out and go straight to the hood. I went to the Bay Area. I was staying in the Bay. Yeah, I know that ain't too, I know you might hear that and be like, oh, that's still the hood. Like, but it's different when you're not from, or you're not affiliated with that. You know what I mean? You can move different when you ain't got a known face in this city or the same affiliation. I could wiggle a little bit. I could get to network with people in different cities and look for different jobs and get job opportunities, money opportunities, things like that. So that's what I did. I did my parole in the Bay Area. That was the first thing I did, like as far as like taking the steps to changing my lifestyle and making sure I'm serious about staying on a different path. And it worked out for the most part. It's just like I said, I still had the mind of a 14-year-old, to be honest. Like, not like, oh, I'm super stupid, but like, definitely my mind was stuck in a time capsule, basically. Like, definitely was still thinking like a kid, like, oh, I want to get, you know what I mean? Like, putting a female over this, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I need to chase this, I need to chase this chick, or chase this money, or chase this chain, you know what I mean? I'm like, man, just chasing BS, like, instead of trying to accumulate enough money to buy a house or buy a car straight out or something that you really need to do as a man. My mind state was still, oh, let me fuck off 20,000 in the club, like, you know what I mean? I'm not in the club, but just partying, like shit like that. You know what I mean? Like drinks throughout the week, jewelry, clothes, shit that's not gonna benefit me. You know what I mean?
and okay, so I'm gonna ask you this question because you're gonna say that prison was bad, but prison taught you a lot. Would you Do you think that prison should exist?
I'm gonna say not the way that it is right now, because all it is right now is a plantation or a warehouse. And Definitely not the legal system, the way that the process to get in there, all of that. I think the whole structure, the whole laws, in my opinion, the whole way that the law is structured need to be changed because it came from a racist institution. Let's be honest, it came from some shit that was not in our favor. So in my opinion, all of that needs to change. As far as a prison, I think that a prison should be literally what I said it was earlier, a university, somewhere where you constantly in school, you constantly educating yourself on a, you know what I mean? Like if you was whatever type of crime you was in, you got to be going through a reconstruction process. So you should be in classes on teaching you about the crimes you was doing, who they hurt, and how you could think differently to not, you know what I mean? Like a psychiatry, whatever it is, or a lot of dudes that go to prison is talented. Like it should be like something that's honed in on their skill, like a real rehabilitation process, not just a prison. It should be, that's what it should be, a rehabilitation university, something like that.
Like Kita did say in the chat, she said prisons were created with the intention of continuing slavery, which honestly is very true because it's all this basically the same shit. You have
I mean, just read the
out
13th Amendment.
plantations, you know.
Yeah.
But
That's a whole nother topic too, man. If you want to, at the 13th Amendment, it literally tells you right there everything you need to know.
we
The 13th Amendment.
Yeah, we can touch on that if you really want to.
Yeah, the 13th Amendment. What you gonna say?
I don't think a lot of people realize that some of these laws that have been made up are against, like you did say, our us and our. That's basically everyone of color, minorities, and it's aimed for that. It's aimed for us.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to explain what the 13th Amendment is, what it upholds and how it affects us, that'd be great.
So I can't think of the whole thing off top, but I just know the base. What it basically says is slavery is illegal except for under certain circumstances. So basically, you can still be a slave in the prison system if you commit a crime. Basically, like if you're convicted of a crime, you still are legally able to be a slave, and they even have slave wages in prison. And you forced into labor or education. You're forced to do. You can't stay in your cell. You got to get put to work. It's basically still the same slave process minus, the lashings and the lynchings. Now it's just a legal lynching.
Well, because you're gonna get your, that from either other people that are there or your own people.
Yeah.
Where they throw it off to,
For sure. Yeah.
And we'll touch back on like what do you think prisons are bad? Do you like because you have places like in Germany, I think is like some place where they don't even give people life. They give them like 10, 15 years for murders because they're rehabilitating people, and then they put them back on the street, and they don't commit any more crimes. Do you feel like you could do that to some people that do commit murder or a charge that you feel like, say they're drinking and driving, go hit somebody? They obviously don't deserve life, but they did some dumb shit. Like, do you believe that life sentences are needed and should be used, or do you think that they're abused and don't need to be used?
Yeah, life sentences, I believe, is just for whoever collecting the check off of your number in there to keep getting it. Basically, like they got a infinite life insurance almost on you. You know what I mean? So, because everybody in there is a number that pays the government. You paying the feds, you paying the state. You know what I mean? Your body count being in there, being warehoused. That's what doing life in prison basically is a human being warehoused. Because you're gonna sit there until you die. So, yeah, definitely. I believe life in prison is just already just a scheme. It's a life insurance scheme for the government, basically. So I feel like, no, it shouldn't be that. You should definitely be going in there with an end goal. The only people I feel like deserve to ride in there or death penalty is, people that touch children, women, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. But other than that, no, because most people, it's a reason behind what they did. You know what I mean? You don't know what their circumstances was. People robbed because their mama was hungry. They was homeless. They was poor, or they was struggling. You know what I mean? People killed because somebody wronged them, or they was taught that these people wronged them. It's something put in their head. It's something that we not focusing on, that nobody paying attention to. And that's why I feel like it's a certain way a prison should be. It should be what they trying. They put the name on it because there was something that happened a few years ago where they actually were starting to call these prison rehabilitation centers, but they did that to get the money for funding to fund the rehabilitation while still running it as a prison. They didn't do any type of rehabilitation programs in it.
And there's a lot of like speculation on rehabilitation in prison, and the, you're gonna tell me there's none.
No, the only way you could get some is if you they want you to go PC or go SNY, go 50-50. They want you to like prove that you could program in society by showing them that you could be on the SNY yard with pedophiles and you know what I mean, stuff like that.
So, but what is? So you're gonna say that if unless they go to these yards, that's the only way that you're gonna be able to just get up out of there, or like
No, that's the only way you get access to certain programs. That's the
so.
only way you're gonna get access to the like full. What you say?
Let's see. That's the only way.
Yeah, for sure. They gonna want you to bend. They gonna want you to bend. Like they want you to show that you actually change. You know what I mean? They want you to show that you
Even if it is a
actually.
murder, the only way is for you to go to a lower yard with people that have bad charges that obviously you're not going to be able to to coexist with, to basically set you up.
I ain't gonna say it's the only way, but the only realistic way. The only way that is like almost for sure. Because you could continue to sit on the main lines and hope for your appeal while you getting into riots, while you stabbing people and you know what I mean, getting caught for batteries and phones. Like why because you got to have all of that clean on your record if you expecting to get out when you go see appeal. You don't want none of that on your resume. So you could sit on the main lines and try to and pray that you don't get caught for nothing, which is really really slim. Really, you know what I mean, it's not realistic. Or you could go, turn all your morals in from the street morals in and say I'm gonna go coexist, with these people that they want me to coexist with and take advantage of these programs they offering to them. But they're not offering it to the people that they expecting to be fuck ups, basically,
So even if you say you're just you can't just sign up. You have to go to these lower yards to have that ability.
Yeah, like, for the most part,
Or be liked by like a
yeah.
counselor
Cause
or
I ain't gonna
something like
lie.
that.
Yeah, I seen certain programs like on the yard I was on, but it never lasted because it'd be a riot crack off or something. People go to the hole or something, like they never really lasted. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's for the most part. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you have to go SNY because that's the stuff they offered when they first started bringing up 50-50 and SNY. Because I was in there when all that stuff first started happening. They was coming to the yard telling us it's gonna be a new opportunity. You know what I mean? If you willing to live with other races, basically, but they didn't tell you that these other races were gonna be SNY people. You know what I mean? But off the bat, it was like, all right, that sound weird because we already know you can't live with another race in prison. So it already was like a red flag there.
And for everybody, what is it? What is an SMY yard?
Sensitive needs yard.
And what are some of these sensitive needs, or is this a? Because when people hear sensitive needs, they're gonna think mental health or mental health mostly.
Nah, they got EOP yards. That's mental health. I'm not sure what EOP stand for, but I know it's like people that's on psych meds. But yeah, SNY sensitive needs yard. That's usually people that need protection from mainline population. They need protection from people that still programming as gang members, still running the strict program, keeping the program solid. So yeah, that's SNY. Usually people that snitched on someone, touched children. You know what I mean, SA, all that type of stuff.
So, and in And those yards, those are the those are basically the yards that they're throwing these programs.
Right. Those are the yards that got the most opportunities. Other than the lower level yards, I'm not sure. They got like 1 and 2 yards. They got a lot of programs and opportunities there too, though.
Do you feel like those type of people should even have that ability? Because with those charges, do you? I don't. There's not much rehabilitation for that. I think that's just me.
That's true. But
You know,
that's something that this system take light. They unless you unless you R. Kelly or Bill Cosby, to be honest, like they take that charge kind of light. You know what I mean on their people. You don't really see people for them type of charges getting crazy time unless they actually had a couple bodies in there too that they hid somewhere or you know what I mean. But other than that, yeah, they don't really get too much time. They kind of get a slap on the wrist.
yeah,
So I guess because of that, them having light time, they got more of a opportunity to at those on those programs. They're gonna be on lower yards. They ain't got that much time. They're gonna have way more opportunities. And it's unfortunate, but the system just they don't think that's really that bad. I guess they don't take that as serious as like murder or something like that.
to me, I feel like that's something they ain't no coming back from. I don't think there's much rehabilitation in that.
Yeah, it's a mental health problem. Yeah, for sure. It's like that's something mental for sure. They should be like in a facility.
Yeah, or a facility that's not, that's that like strap them
Yeah,
down
like
with bars or something. I don't know.
psych ward or something.
Yeah. Let's talk about being a black man, fresh getting out of prison, reacclimating you to life, outside life. Was it hard for you to being black, being in this racial divided area for since you were a teenager to now you're an adult, and now it's you see they're like, hey, hey, how you doing? And you were expecting like, yeah, that's not where I'm from, or everybody's being more kind to you probably than normal than what you're used to. How was it being black and being able to come back into society, and do you feel like you were accepted?
I mean, I definitely get like I get a different encounter from everybody because I made the mistakes of writing it all over myself. You know what I mean? I got tattoos, so I definitely notice I get a different approach. Like I might. There's been times where I've been out with my friends that don't have no tattoos, and they look like just good gentlemen, like squares, and they'll get approached by way more people. Men and women just like what I mean. But me, people would be like, man, I don't know about him. Like he seemed like he tripping or something, or he standoffish. So it took a while for people to start getting used to me, I guess. Like, but yeah, it was kind of that was a part of the culture shock because my mentality is so different now. I'm like I want to get to know people, meet different people. I'm not even thinking about where you from or like you got a problem with the hood. I ain't thinking like that no more. I'm thinking about man, who you like? What do? You in the music? Like can you put me on with this? Like let's network. You want to, what I mean? Like what you like to do? I'm trying to really get to know people, meet new friends because I ain't got no friends other than the hood, the homies from the hood. So it was definitely, and then I noticed just people are different because of technology too. That was like a big shock to me. I'm noticing people just not as social outside as they used to be when I first came home. It's a lot of, people not really just meeting like I don't know, approachable. I don't like it didn't seem like it's too as many approachable people out here like it was when I was a youngster. And I was
You
tripping
missed all
off
the
that.
iPhones, so
Yeah.
you, you missed all the iPhones, all the games and stuff like that. So they, I'm pretty sure they didn't have, probably hard as hell to see a black person on the internet. Pretty much, now you probably have more black people on the internet than ever. So
Yeah.
other races, I'm not gonna lie, they probably feel a little bit more comfortable around us because they see, they have an aspect of like a Kai Sinat or a funny person, or So maybe, you know, people outside when you're getting out, and now people are like, oh, well, another funny, hi, what's up? I'm not, do you rap? They ask you what, do you rap or something most of the time, huh?
Yeah, I don't think I don't think I ever heard that, to be honest. Maybe in the Bay once or twice, but nah, for the most part, I ain't, it would always be like white people coming up to me like what's that tattoo? Like they, you know what I mean? They be drunk and bold. Like that'd be the only time I really see people. But for the most part, nah, yeah, I haven't. It was I wouldn't. I guess yeah, I wasn't really approachable. I didn't seem approachable, so yeah, my encounters was way different. You know what I mean? It'd be like, and then I noticed sometimes people, like if there's a lot of men around and I'm in a bar or something, people kind of like get macho more, like they kind of start acting a little tougher. So I'll be like, it kind of made me back up a little bit. Like I only kind of mingle with the family, you know. So I really ain't experienced like meeting too many different strangers outside of the internet. Really, I became an internet dude, I guess you could say. Like that became the comfort zone, talking and mingling with people, social media.
Hmm. That, I mean, which is smart. I mean, that's where we're thriving at the most, which is probably the best thing ever. I'm being honest. Um, we should be thriving in all categories of life. To be honest. When you let's see what I got here. Are you proud where you are now, and do you feel like you've overcame the hardest obstacle of your life yet?
Nah, definitely not yet, because I ain't even really got started. And I don't, and even as I've been out, I done had so many ups and downs. Like I done been in a position where I should have took advantage of that. Like where I had steady flow of income, job, career going, house, and I should have, made better investments. And then I lost it and then got it. I keep it been like opportunities that I took advantage of in the moment and then kind of got too comfortable and took it for granted. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And when you take your opportunities and blessings for granted, they tend to slip away. So I understand that I had to go through that to appreciate the next opportunity and not let it slip away. So that's where I'm at right now, and I'm definitely proud of that. You know what I mean? I'm proud of, like I say, I'm proud of being able to go through everything I went through in the streets and not still be a person of darkness, of destruction, of hatred. It actually, and maybe even in my whole life, I've always been this way because I always kind of felt like I was on the outside looking in. Like I never really felt like I was the dude going through what I was going through. You know what I mean? I always felt like I was just observing everything, and so I always kind of like looked at it different. Like I looked at, the situations in the hood different. The way the homies, sometimes they'll be doing something that everybody praising them for, and I'm looking at them crazy, like damn, that really ain't it. Like something in my heart will be pulling me away. So my consciousness was always there, but now that at this age, I really understand the importance of honing in on that and being and once you obtain that wisdom or that knowledge, you can't ignore it. You can't just say, "Oh man, I know," but F it. This is what everybody else doing. This is what the hood doing. This is what it is. I'm back to that. You gotta hold on to that and keep it, and and keep taking them steps. Like basically the same dedication I had in the streets, I gotta have that dedication as a father, as a businessman, as a hustler, and with my passion. So yeah, that's why I'm proud of the understanding I obtained now from what I went through.
I'm gonna say you know, for somebody was facing a life sentence, and for you to say that you haven't hit your the hardest obstacle of your life yet, I'm gonna tell you that makes you a very strong person. So that's not you. If you really like, I would. Most people are gonna tell you I was facing life. That was hard as hell. But you're saying that wasn't even your hardest obstacle yet. So I can't wait to see what you overcome, what your hardest obstacle is gonna be, and feel me, you kill it. I can't wait to see that. You know, that's gonna
Shit,
be
for sure.
something.
I appreciate that.
That's gonna be something. Worth waiting for. You know, what do you think more black men should focus on?
Man, depending on, because I ain't gonna say every black man got the lifestyle that we came from, or you know what I mean, or went through what I went through. Because it's a lot of black people that don't even have an idea about this. Like they gotta, you know, they living successfully. You know what I mean. But the black people that came from where I came from, or like, or the stuff that we had to witness, that's going through what I went through at that age. Right now, they, as hard as it is, you gotta just focus on yourself at this. Really, for a young black man, for any black man, you need to focus on yourself first. See who you are, because everybody got a talent. That's what I realized too. Everybody got something that they can make their business and capitalize off of. So you gotta figure out what that is. What's your niche? Separate from other people in order to find out who you are as an individual. Once you do that, you gotta lock in on that and realize that time is of the essence. So all that, you know, it's a lot of razzle dazzle out here in the world that'll distract you and make you feel like you gotta be a part of it. You gotta be able to have discipline and a futuristic mind state. You gotta be able to realize that whatever going on right now in the moment ain't that important. Capitalize on the moment in order to build for the future. That's what I'll tell every black man. Think about your future, because that's the problem I believe what most of us have, especially as young black men. Me, when I was a young black man, a future was nothing. I didn't even think that was real. Everything was right now. I'm not thinking about, oh, tomorrow I'm finna get rich. I'm like, I'm about to get rich right now. Let's go rob something. Or tomorrow I'm gonna go catch an enemy slipping. Or you know what I mean? I'm like, I'm on everything is right now. I wanna go get a girl, it's right now. I'm not thinking about nothing tomorrow. So I know that's the hardest thing for a young black man, especially coming from the trenches. Tomorrow don't exist, because you're really not even expected to live tomorrow. So put your future to the forefront. Make that a priority.
Yeah, that is some, that's something that I feel like, we do need to focus on is, black men need to be more present. Stop trying to do all these side missions bullshit, and stop not trying to be with the family. Stop not trying to not be there. Cause we can, and we do a lot of shit better than a lot of people. A lot of people. Like we real life superheroes. Like I hate to tell you, we are real life superheroes. Like
Yeah, that's for sure.
this man just told you his hardest obstacle wasn't even facing life. That nigga is a superhero, bro. Like, so I want to talk. This is gonna be the last thing I'm gonna ask, or what you want to talk about right here. What as black men can we do to make better black men?
I think it's really easy, to be honest, and that's be there. You make a huge difference just being there constantly in your children's life. Just letting them and not just be there, but be an example while you there too. Don't be a ain't shit nigga there. You know what I mean? Like, cause you can still be in your kid's life and be a deadbeat. I'll be seeing dudes there every day, not paying them no attention, and even for the mothers too. Just pay attention to them. Understand that once you have that child, that means that your existence is coming to an end and his future is beginning. So you about to live through him. So everything, as he growing or she growing, you need to be teaching them to prepare them for the future, and to continue your legacy, and so that their life won't be as jacked up as yours. You know what I mean? So that's the main thing. Just making sure, really present, being there, and paying attention. You know what I mean? Watching, like, the same way you pay attention to yourself. You be like, oh, I got to work on this. All right, you do that with your children. Like, man, I see you struggling with this. Let's work on this, and communicate with them. You ain't supposed to be their friend, but you can communicate as a friend just to get the message across. You know what I'm saying? Let them be comfortable, and show them the importance of love. And like I said, the future, just, that's something I don't think that we press enough, is let's build a future. Because for some reason, everybody got that YOLO mentality. Like, We only live once, man. Forget that. Like we people gamble every day. Let's gamble on our future. You know what I mean? That's something that we need to do. Like we gotta definitely invest in that because you can't really build nothing worth having in just a year or a few weeks or a month. It takes time. Just like it take you time to get into the flow of a new job or learning a new trade or learning a new craft. It take time and repetition. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, longevity is what we're looking for. I mean, some people, bro, don't even teach their kids. I see people like me growing up now. My friends are, they kids are now 15 something years old, 15, 16. And I remember being 15, 16 with niggas, and we didn't know fucking shit. We didn't know shit. It didn't matter what we did. We could have went and did whatever, and it wouldn't have mattered. But now, when I see like my friends' kids, and I can tell this is what happens when you have present parents.
Mm-hmm.
You end up with normal kids. You know what I'm saying? You end up with normal kids that are gonna do normal stuff, that are gonna want to do normal fucking shit and not get in trouble. They just not,
For sure.
because
That's a fact.
either pops is putting the fear of God in you, or moms is fucking there for you at every game, but dad's still making sure you got draws on your ass.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so but us as black men, it's really hard for us to pick. Like we have a thing with picking, do this or do that. We can bring everything together. Everything. Like again, we're superheroes, bro. We're the best of the best. Like, you know, and I'm happy for all the fathers, all the black fathers that are in their kids' lives not being deadbeats and all that shit. Definitely not with that. Um, was there anything else? Was there a question you had for like me?
Man, shit. Nah, really, I just want to commend you on this interview, and hey, shout out to you too. You a father that's present. We definitely need to salute the black men, or just men, period, brothers and sisters that's doing good things. That's something I think we need to change the narrative on too. So I appreciate you giving me my flowers. I'm gonna give you yours too. You doing your thing. I've been seeing you staying consistent, and I already know, you know what I mean, you're gonna do the right thing with your kids too, man. So that presence is there, and that's important, man. And I appreciate you.
Like, no doubt, bro. And was there any questions from anybody? Because I am in Discord and on TikTok at the same time. We did have 63 viewers in this bitch while we were doing this interview. Um,
Oh yeah, that's what's up.
was there anything that anybody in the Discord y'all want to ask Flint? Y'all can just come up and speak. If maybe it's something y'all haven't asked him, or something y'all been or already asked him, it'd be great content. Just come up. I know Kita in there typing. ODMQ in there too. If y'all don't have to though. But I just want to get a little bit more. We actually got an hour. We did an hour and we did an hour 30.
Oh damn, for real, that shit. Hey,
Kita,
that shit flew by.
Was there any questions? Ash Bella, ODMQ, ODM Slim. Was there any questions y'all wanted to ask Slim? Maybe, or me ask Flint. Something I didn't ask him, or something that you wanted to maybe touch on.
They typing.
Or just come up. No, no. Oh, you good? You good? Okay, okay, okay. Cool. Oh, there we go. Top number one. Top 100 creator. There we go. We just got that. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
I am gonna start doing this. My next one, hopefully, if ODM Slim like me that much, I'm gonna ask him for his interview. And I'm gonna try and find me. I'm gonna try and find me a female as well to ask these same questions.
Oh, yeah, that'd be dope right
I
there.
feel like if I could find a female that's been incarcerated for, I want to say at least 5 to 10, that'd be great. Be a great interview. If anybody on my TikTok knows anybody or has anybody that does like prison content that would do an interview real quick, hit me up on TikTok. Hit me up on YouTube. You can hit me up on YouTube. You can hit me up on Instagram. You can hit me up on damn near everything. Flint, shout out all your socials right now so people can actually get up with you, or shout out your book, so people can look for it.
Oh yeah, for sure. You can check me out on Instagram at free underscore baby Flintstone underscore AG. And then I'm on spaces or wigs.com. That's the Ginsu is my website on spaces. I'll have to like put the link and stuff in there. That's where my books is. But yeah, the link for that is also on my IG, so you could get it through there too.
If y'all want more of this type of content that I'm gonna start doing, will start doing. I just have to find people that. I mean, it's truly not hard for me to find people that want to be in jail or prison. It's really not hard, but it's hard to find people that are actually going to be serious and want to do it and answer these questions the way Flint has. Flint has had a lot of experience and has done this once before, twice before, 100 times before. I want everybody, it don't matter what it is, I need y'all to at least try to do something positive this week, this month, this year. Do something positive for somebody, regardless if it's even giving somebody $1, $5. Make sure you go hug your kids, hug your wife. Don't do nothing fucking stupid. Everybody that follow me on TikTok, 60, where we at? We at 68 people. To the 68 people that came into the live, thank you for the gifters who gifted. JB, thank you for the share live. Who else? Francis, thank you for the hearts. Thank you for the game controller. All that. Thank you for who else we had in here? Who else dropped some shit? Thank you for all that though. We gonna end the live again. I appreciate everybody for pulling up. We gonna appreciate everybody for doing what they gotta do. Make sure y'all stand on business. We will start doing more of these TikTok lives. And this interview is gonna be on YouTube, so you can find it on my YouTube. I'll drop my YouTube in my story. Make sure y'all go follow me. But this motherfucker is over with. Tap in, Flint. Shout it out one more time. Shout out so they can go follow you, bro.
It's free underscore baby Flintstone underscore AG on Instagram, and all my links and bios is in my links is in the bios.
There we go. Keep your head on the swivel. Don't fuck up. We out.